Greetings, beloved beings, fellow travelers on this planet, and guests from other realms. My name is Izobel Freeman, and I'm going to be doing a general reading for the collective for the month of May, 2018. Hope you all had a great full pink moon in Scorpio. If you're just joining us, welcome. And if you're not new, but missed the last couple of readings, you'll notice I'm not doing the astrological forecast this time because I'm switching to a once-a-month release schedule. A month's worth of astrology is a lot to cover for just one reading, but it's still good to know the astrological climate. So as I did in my last video, I'm referring you all to two of my favorite astrologers here on YouTube, Levine for general forecasts, and Kelley Rosano for more personalized forecasts for each zodiac sign. I'll include links to their channels in the description of this video. There's a lot going on in May, and I'm really excited to hear what our friends in spirit have to say for our first monthly reading. So let's get to the cards, shall we? As I do in every reading, I'm going to begin by lighting my little candle for my beautiful spirit kitty Pinky, who was in physical with me until 2015, and was and still is my greatest spiritual teacher. Okay, everyone. First monthly reading. I'm really excited. This is a great month to start out doing these because this month is so exciting. I don't know, those of you who have been following my last few readings may have heard me foreshadow some of the stuff that's going on in May. Now, granted, the astrology in May, it begins kind of gently in the first few weeks. There are some kind of cool aspects going on in the first couple of weeks of May, but things don't really kick into high gear until mid-May, and there's just so much going on. Just starting on Mother's Day, lots of stuff. May 13th, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, those of you mothers out there. Every day should be Mother's Day, as Kelley Rosano likes to say. But yes, there's a lot going on. Huge changeovers energetically. Lots of planets doing really exciting things. And I think we're going to get some of that, hopefully, as a preview in this reading. Now, those of you who are new, again, welcome. I like to begin every reading by flipping this lovely Angel Tarot deck over to find out what we have for sort of the overall energy for the reading. Now, those of you who are new, all the decks here on my table are pre-shuffled before I read, and so let's just see what we get. All right, everyone, the Hermit is back. Archangel Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. This is that Saturn card. The wise old wizard, the Lord of Time. No card in this particular deck feels more Saturn-like, or Saturnine, I believe is the word, than the Hermit card. Now, back when Saturn was turning retrograde, Saturn, for all of you who don't know this yet, Saturn is in fact retrograde right now. Sort of retracing his steps through the first decan or decan of the sign of Capricorn. Saturn went into Capricorn in 2017 at the very end of the year at winter solstice, and has been there hanging out comfortably, well, not so comfortably for us, comfortably in his own sign. Saturn sometimes gets a bad rap in astrology as sort of the big mean planet, and yes, he can manifest as that, but he is also the planet that makes us masters. He is, in fact, the wise old wizard who has come to impart to us really deep and lasting wisdom and can turn us into masters. Also the archetype of, say, the martial arts master or the Jedi master who turns the new kid or the Padawan into someone who is also a master themselves. 9, numerologically, is the number of the ending of a cycle. And so this is appropriate for Saturn because Saturn helps us look back at things. Saturn is, I guess, the one who makes you stop for a second, look back over your life, see what you have learned up until this point, see what still needs transformation, and also the good stuff that you have accomplished. So yeah, not always the one who's going to pass bad judgment on you. Sometimes he passes good judgment on you and says, well done, well done. this is that card where you need to go within, just like retrograde periods often make us do. Retrogrades, I know everybody hears about the dreaded Mercury retrograde where, oh no, our tech's not going to work and we're going to have trouble with communication and travel and woohoo, crazy stuff going on out there that we can't explain. And Mercury is the most famous for this because Mercury is the fastest moving planet and goes into retrograde more often. So we hear that phrase Mercury retrograde a lot. Saturn moves a lot slower, just like his sort of old man archetype. It befits his old man archetype. Of the visible planets, the planets that don't require technological assistance for us to see, he is the slowest moving in the sky. And so the ancients dubbed him the old man or the father time or the lord of time. That's why they kind of assigned him this old man, slow moving archetype. Now, again, slowing us down, retrogrades, I got off on a tangent with Mercury retrograde, but retrogrades make us go inside. Retrogrades make us look at ourselves in very internal and transformational ways. And so hermiting, going on walkabout with yourself, giving yourself quiet time, that's going to be really important for this month because, again, there's a lot of stuff that's going on, especially mid-month. Uranus is changing signs. That's the biggest thing going on. Uranus changing signs, going from Aries into Taurus. And that's going to cause a lot of shakeups in really basic life things like, say, money and the environment and women's issues and women's health and all this, and food and comfort and just the basics of life. Taurus rules over the basics of life: food, shelter, clothing, the necessities to sustain life. And when those things start to be affected by Uranus energy and sort of flipped upside down with that sort of tower lightning strike, let's reinvent everything energy, some of us are going to need to go within and find this quiet place in order to find the peace, in order to weather the apparent storms that happen on the outside, on the world stage. So yes, this is going to be really important. Good energy to have as sort of a foundation, because we all want to feel like we have a wise mentor that we could call upon for help when we need to. And we each have one of those inside of ourselves. That's the great secret of this card. 9 being the end of a cycle means that we're going to come to some sort of amazing conclusions or worthy takeaways from the experiences that we've been having and somehow ground those in our 3D reality experience. Beautiful. All right, more on that later as we go into the spread. So, as I like to do, those of you, again, who are new, I like to shuffle in this very sort of loose and intuitive way where cards will just kind of reveal themselves when they need to go down. See how this one kind of just snuck out? This one going down for our first position. The first position in the spread, which is my quick cross spread, I invented this spread for my own use, for my own purposes, when I needed a little guidance in my own life, and now I am sharing the spread with you all. First position is recent past into present of our collective. Oh, cards going everywhere. That's a little bit what the energy of May feels like right now. It's everything up for grabs. Just reaching out to my guides to give us a little grounding energy, because again, I'm sort of, oh, this card looks like, yep, that one wants to come out. I'm sort of vibrating. I don't know if you can see, like, hands shaking, lots of energy coming through. The second card in the spread is, let's see here, that was past into present. This is present into near future, and you can see that the two of these are related. The two of them could be pivoting on the ever-present now moment in which all of our power resides. These two could be a choice between two different decisions or two different outlooks, two different ways to define a situation. And or they could just be building one on the other and giving us more information. So let's see what the guides have to say. Oh, next position is going to be a vertical that describes sort of the current condition of the collective. It's going to be mind or higher mind, heart, and body subconscious wisdom. Oh, this card wants to fly off. Sometimes cards literally want to just jump off the deck. It's pretty fun to feel. Whoa. Come on, cards. Stay in my hands. Okay, higher mind, heart, body subconscious wisdom. Last reading, we got 2 cards for the body subconscious wisdom position, and that was really wonderful for them to give us a little extra information about what we were needing to focus on there. Here we go. Oh, just 1 for this month. Next position is going to be what can help us on our journey, whether that be spiritual, mental, emotional, or physical aid. And sometimes this card can be like a cautionary card, like something that we may not have been paying attention to that we really kind of need to. You can feel the guides grounding the energy now. Not so shaky as before. That's good. I'm grateful. This one's popping out. And the last position in the spread is what some people like to call the outcome position. I like to call it the most probable direction the collective is moving in, just because I always want to acknowledge that you, me, we as sovereign beings always have power to affect our own future. Just because the general weather pattern of the collective is going in a certain direction does not mean that you have to be swept away by that. You always have agency in any moment because you are a conscious creator. You're a co-creator with the universe. But again, it is nice to know what the general weather pattern is just so you can figure out where you want to be within that direction. All right, this one looks like it's already popping out, so I'm just going to use it. All right, there's our spread. Okay, past into present. The Sun, Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. Wow. Well, everyone, remember how last time we were leading up to this kind of outcome-ish position of becoming this master, just like the Hermit card is saying that we're going within to achieve some sort of mastery. Last time we got the High Priestess as our sort of outcome card of the spread. And this card is one of the happiest, most positive, most uplifting cards that you can possibly get in a spread in this deck. 19, you can see the 1 and the 9, the Alpha and the Omega. This is the quote-unquote God card, the card that's the most archetypal of, say, the divine masculine God energy, the Sun. 1 and 9, when you add them together, reduce to a 10, add up to a 10, and that reduces again to a 1, which basically means the beginning of the cycle, the ending of a cycle, and the complete reinvention of a 10 into a 1, a rebirth of sorts. This is a really, really beautiful card to have for the beginning of the spread. This solar energy definitely pointing to going into the beginnings of the summer season coming towards us. We have that to look forward to. We've also got this beautiful it just feels like May feels like a reinvention month. Sun energy definitely permeating, weather warming up, things looking encouraging for all of our creative endeavors. And this is wonderful. This is good to have because a lot of people are talking about, Uranus going into Taurus and Chiron having just come out of Aries, having just come out of Pisces and gone into Aries. It has got some people sort of shaken up, and, frankly, the last few months and the last few years haven't been the easiest on some of us. And we've been going through that Chiron pain stuff. Remember, we had that 5 of water that was up there at last time where we were still kind of sifting through pain. This is showing that we've got a little respite from that going on, hopefully. And that need to bring your gifts to the world that we were getting the messages for last time. The real need to self-express, to shine. The sun in astrology, the planet, they call even the sun a planet in astrology. If you're new to astrology, just bear with me here. They call anything that moves in the sky a planet, traditionally, in astrology. And the meaning of the sun is you, the way that you shine, your conscious expression of yourself in the world. And to have this so bright and front and center means that some of you are have really taken to heart the meanings that we've gotten in the last few readings, where we need to express ourselves in the most sincere and sort of unashamed, unabashed way that we can, unfiltered. When you shine and you show the world who you really are, it brings to you a type of success, a type of wholeness, a type of just feeling like you're fully formed that you can't get in any other way. Self-expression in its purest form. Beautiful. I'm really excited to see this begin the spread. We need this. All right. Present, near future. Renewal. We've been seeing this card hanging around recently. This renewal card. Review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. Time to move in a new direction. Archangel Jeremiel, maybe pictured in this illustration, standing in Judgment. This is the analog of the Judgment card in traditional tarot. This card can sometimes, again, just like Saturn can, get a bad rap because judgment has a bad connotation sometimes in our language. Like we're going to be judged unfairly, or we're going to be judged as lacking in some way. But this card doesn't have that feeling. Renewal is coming to, again, the end of a cycle, just like the Hermit card says, and also the Sun card. Coming to the end of a cycle and deciding now that you have come. You can see in this illustration, these travelers here, this family unit, has come to the beach, has come to the edge of the land where the sea meets the land, and can go no further without making some sort of decision. Across the sea, there is another unknown country, possibly a new thing to explore, or they could go out on this ocean, or they could turn in either direction. Any way you slice it, their journey needs to change in some way because they've come as far as they can in this direction. The land ends and they can't really go any farther unless they're going to either change their journey in some way and make it into an ocean journey or change direction. This is really connected to that hermiting energy that we got from our overall energy card. This going inside to review and evaluate. You've got the support of the sun energy. Some of you are ready to express yourself in an unfiltered way to the world, to not hold back who you really are. And this is really important when you come to the point where someone else is going to look in on you from the outside and pass quote unquote judgment. And you can see that this authority figure, this angel, is standing here. And it seems like what they are saying in this illustration is, well done, you've come this far, you are strong, and you're standing on your own 2 feet, you're deciding who you are, and now you get to choose what you're going to be next. 20, it's interesting, we've got these 2 cards that come one after the other. And it's neat because they're, again, in the very present positions. Just like I said, sometimes cards build one on the other in these two positions. And here we have just logical steps forward. We're self-expressing, and this is the most important that it's ever been, especially as Uranus goes into Taurus. The other cool thing, when Uranus goes into Taurus, and this is happening on the 15th of May, Uranus is switching signs. Uranus has been in Aries for the last 7-ish years, and Uranus tends to spend 7 years in a sign. And this is really important for the renewal concept because I don't know if you've read this in certain scientific journals or maybe nature articles, that it is a recorded fact that the body takes about 7 years to completely regenerate every cell in your body. So every 7 years, you technically have a brand new physical form. And Uranus being in a sign for 7 years, that means that for the last 7 years, he's been in Aries, teaching us all about lightning strikes of inspiration when it comes to self-expression and who we're going to be. Just like the Sun card here. It's funny, if you go back anecdotally and you look at some of the stuff that's come out on the world stage while Uranus has been in Aries, Uranus in Aries showed us the birth of the selfie, right? The selfie really took off as a phenomenon online, and online is definitely a Uranus arena. Because it's electrical, it's lightning strikey, it's futuristic, just like the energy of Uranus. So Uranus in Aries, Aries being the youngest sign, Aries being all about me, myself, I, what do I want? It's like the newborn baby who is just taking its first breaths and is hungry or cold or wants to see something different or can't reach that thing across the room that it really wants. And that's Aries energy. That's me, the spark of life, the fire, Aries being a fire sign, the fire of creation, having just created new life and having just created identity. So Uranus, electrical lightning strike, futuristic technology, plus Aries, the self, the focusing on the self creates, of course, the phenomenon of the selfie. And I think that that's just so amazing. Some of the shadow side of Uranus and Aries has been the focus on Mars energy. Mars rules Aries. Those of you who don't know, every zodiac sign has a planet that technically rules that sign, which means that planet imparts its energy to that sign. And Aries has this very pugnacious fighter, warrior type energy. Those of you who have Aries people in your lives know that they tend to be kind of blunt and they tell it like it is, but they're always enthusiastic and willing to stand up and loyal, like willing to stand up for you. If they're your friend, they are your friend till the end, and they will fight for you, or they will fight for their own point of view, even if nobody else gets it, right? Aries people, very much that fiery spirit of the warrior. And when it's turned in a positive direction, they can become a warrior of light, say a spiritual warrior. But the warlike energy of Mars ruling Aries has also produced, and if you meld that with the technology and the advancement of Uranus, you also get people who are very enthusiastic about war or say their guns. And so we've had a lot of gun issues, especially in the last few months of Uranus's finishing his journey through Aries. And so we've got a lot of this, and now we're ready for this renewal. And this renewal card is definitely about taking our lessons from Uranus and Aries about our identities, who we're going to be next, how much we love ourselves, how much we self-express in the world, how we self-express in the world, what we're going to look like and be next, and renewing this in some way, going into Taurus and bringing this down to earth. This is the reviewing and evaluating period. This is the going back and seeing what takeaways we get from Uranus and Aries and flipping that into now, how do we work that in a very practical Taurian way, Taurus way. Taurus, again, about the necessities of life and how do we express ourselves physically here in 3D reality. Renewing that idea, getting a whole new body and a whole new way of looking at things. After 7 years of Uranus and Aries, now we're looking forward to 7 years of Uranus and Taurus. And what is that going to mean for us? This 20 coming on the heels of this 19 reduces numerologically to a 2, which is a number of balance. It can be a number of balance. It can be a number of also conflict. And so we may not, Uranus and Aries may have brought up some issues that we need to wrestle with, but Uranus and Taurus is where we're going to honestly need to throw down and figure out how they work here on planet Earth in a very practical way. So it could be the number of conflict and tug of war, but it can also be this wonderful number of partnership. You can see these two partners in the family unit standing here. And when two people or two different points of view come together and balance themselves, that means this is a really great illustration also of a Taurus, Uranus and Taurus theme that's going to come up, which is the equality of women. Venus rules Taurus, and so the divine feminine is going to be a big deal. The issues of the planet, Mother Earth, coming up. Taurus is all about earthly plane concerns, and so very much about the environment, the planet, the divine feminine, putting the divinity back into matter, the earth itself. Matter being, you can hear the word matter, the Latin word matter, in the actual word of physical matter, and it means mother. So putting that divine feminine back in the balanced partnership with the divine masculine that she needs to have, so that we can have partnership instead of war, so that we can have cross-pollination, and then we can create something new in this divine act of creativity. You can see this child figure, hopefully, in this illustration. When the two partners are balanced, and then they can come together with equal rights, with equal voices, they can create something beautiful and new, and possibly choose a new direction and be truly renewed and move forward with strength. Very cool. Really great metaphoric stuff coming forward for us for May. This is fabulous. I really love this Uranian metaphor that we're getting here. Aries into Taurus. This is the renew flip, mid-May. So very cool. Let's see what's going on in the mind or higher mind of the collective this month. 8 of Water. A desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. Absolutely. This is kind of feeling like this need to choose a new direction with this renewal card. Now, I know this card, sometimes people look at it and they look at the illustration and they say, oh, this looks kind of dark and scary. This seems like maybe a downer of a card, but actually it's not. This is the card of going without fear into the unknown, the unfettered, the unattached, open horizon here. You can see this open ocean and this mer person just swimming off into the darkness without fear, leaving behind, seemingly, all of these things of value that they used to think were interesting. This shows us that this switchover, this Uranian switchover, is really, really needed. We are, frankly, here on Earth, we're bored with how things have been. We're a little tired. I mean, these are great. I'm not pointing to the sun as being the past. The sun is a great takeaway from Uranus and Aries. So what I'm saying is kind of pointing back here to the past. We're bored with the way things have been. We're bored with the shadow side of Uranus and Aries, the fighting, the war, the violence of things. We're bored with the conflict rather than the partnership. What's really going to be interesting as Uranus enters Taurus is we're going to get this revolution. Kelley Rosano talks about it as in terms of a love revolution. All the things that Taurus loves, good food that doesn't poison us. I know those of you who in the US, we're still dealing with that E. coli outbreak. And this is, again, that lightning strike warning of what we're going to need to resolve as Uranus goes through Taurus in the next 7 years. Is our food nourishing? Are we getting the nutrients that we need from our beautiful planet Earth? Are we taking care of our Earth Mother? So it's going to be food and friendship and love, things that Venus and Taurus both love, and money, also money. You can see also, like I said, mer person swimming away from these golden goblets, things that they used to think were of value. This points to the changeover that is going to happen also in the Venus-Taurus area of money. Monetary shifts are coming. We are going to have to figure out how to change the money system on our planet so that it serves us better, so that things of value that we used to think were great are going to shift. We're going to look at other things. Possibly we're going to think about human expression as being more valuable. We have seriously undervalued our human capital here on this planet, the gifts that everyone has to bring out of their own divine nature, rather than where can they fit into the machine to make money. We're going to be readdressing things like that. Cryptocurrencies are a big part of the dialogue as well, whether we're going to be dealing with physical currencies or Uranus loves, of course, technology and futurism. So cryptocurrency is totally a perfect expression of Uranus and Taurus. So we'll see more of that dialogue developing. But again, we're bored with the status quo. We're done with having been at odds with each other. We're done with the divine feminine being shoved into a subservient position. We're done with having taken the divine out of matter, or mother, out of our Mother Earth, out of silencing her voice and undervaluing her. We're going to be respecting that more. We're going to be respecting the place from which our food comes. We're going to be respecting the divinity from which our children and our next generation and our next expression of creativity comes. So yeah, spiritual and emotional growth. This is something that the 8 of this card points to. Well, both the 8 and the fact that it's a water card. Water cards are all about emotions and about matters of the heart. And are you listening to your heart? This is a higher mind expression, even though, again, the card looks a little scary. It looks scary because it's challenging you to go out into the ocean deep, the depths of your own conscious or subconscious. And this could be also a Pluto retrograde expression. Pluto went retrograde just within the last period of last reading. On Earth Day, actually. Pluto just turned retrograde on Earth Day. And so going into the depths, the things that used to previously scare us, and finding the hidden treasures that lie there. And this is also Saturn retrograde, really getting to know ourselves and figuring out what we're going to be next and how we're going to move forward and populate our life experience with something more meaningful. So go into the heart. The higher mind is letting us know, go into your heart center, focus there, really ask yourself the serious questions. It's time for all of us to initiate this renewal. And when I say renewal, I mean go for your pie in the sky dream self. It's time. There's no better lineup of energy than this Uranian shift. Literally bringing the magic of higher mind, heaven, and all the futuristic wizardry that you could possibly imagine down into very down-to-earth Taurus, Venus and Taurus issues like touch it, smell it, see it, taste it, experience it. Physicalized reality. Bring your wishes to Earth. But you need to do that by knowing yourself well enough to know what you really want. Some of us don't have enough quiet time to actually know ourselves that much at all. So this going inside, this hermiting, this listening to your heart, super, super important. 8 is that wonderful number of our eternal nature. You can see that when you turn an 8 on its side, you get that wonderful infinity symbol. Now, our eternal nature speaks to us through higher mind and through the heart. So we need to really focus ourselves there. In higher mind, not conscious mind that is obsessed with the stuff the way things are or the stuff the way things used to be, but something bigger, a spiritual growth of sorts, emotional growth. This is going to be a really, really big deal. As Uranus flips from Aries into Taurus, it's going to be the same day as the new moon in Taurus in May. And this is a great time to go within, to go to that dark place inside you and plant new intentions, make new wishes, figure out who you want to be, and set those intentions for yourself so you can manifest them into real 3D reality, into your actual experience, and no longer just dream about them. Beautiful. All right, let's see what the heart has to say. Aha, the moon. Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. What did I just say about that new moon? It's the same day as the changeover, the Uranus changeover. Archangel Haniel, the same archangel that we got last time with the High Priestess, encouraging us to embrace our divine feminine side, whether or not we manifest outwardly as feminine or masculine. Yeah. To embrace that inner goddess nature. Archangel Haniel is really good at helping us go inside and find our intuition. And those of us who have, like I said in last reading, been a little out of practice at that, this coming new moon in May is the perfect time to do that. To go inside and find those psychic insights, figure out those, you see the events behind the scenes here. This is figuring out, going into those dark waters of your subconscious, of your unconscious. Maybe you'll find out that you have some really good insights in dreams or in meditation. The guides are really trying to connect to your higher mind at this time. Uranus switchover, and frankly, the whole later part of May. Actually, on Mother's Day, on the 13th, we're going to get a Mercury conjunction with Uranus. That's going to be really, really cool because it will finally, remember how last time we had the conscious mind really was sort of clueless and was still going back to sort of dwell on things that were, I don't know, not so fun and painful, and maybe looking at things in a little bit of a disempowered way. Well, this time, especially on Mother's Day and also on the new moon when the Uranus changeover happens, we're going to get a Mercury-Uranus conjunction. And that means your lower mind, your 3D conscious ego mind, the one that gets such a bad rap in spiritual circles, but is actually, like I said, very useful to us because it allows us to play this beautiful game of physical 3D reality. Without a conscious mind, you would not be here. You would just kind of dissolve into the undifferentiated consciousness of spirit. You would just dissolve into the ocean of source. And so we're grateful to our conscious mind. But again, that Uranus Mercury conjunction is going to be a great time to really get an aha moment, to get a download from higher mind so that you can figure out what this renewal for you is all about, what this next 7 years of self-expression, the power that you're going to take from all the lessons that you've learned during Uranus in Aries, what you're going to take and move forward into Uranus and Taurus and really bring to Earth and unite heaven and earth, unite these two potentially opposing energies, higher mind and lower mind. So Uranus Mercury conjunction on the 13th, great time to do that. Also, the new moon on the 15th, great time to go inside and get those psychic insights and figure out what's going on. Also, the moon, you can see this 18, we're getting this interesting kind of grouping sort of in the lower parts, later parts of the major arcana. Lots of major arcana this time around. 18, 19, 20. The 1 and the 8 add together to form a 9, which is the same number that we got for our overall energy card. Another major arcana with the Hermit, the ending of a cycle. They're really hammering on this. Uranus coming to the end of Aries, switching over, renewing us. It's the end of a cycle. We've got to go inside and figure out what all of our takeaways are so we can make really good, informed decisions from the heart. This moon card is in the heart, so we really need to go into our heart center to figure out our divine feminine intuition, our emotional state. The moon rules our emotions and our divine feminine power. So going in there, really going into the heart, communing with that goddess part of you who is also connected deeply to the planet. You can see this duality and this balance in this card. How she's talking about two realms that could possibly be at odds with each other. You can see, hopefully, in this illustration, you see the wolf and the tame collie over on opposite sides of these two streams. This is signifying the wild, untamed, possibly subconscious, maybe plutonic stuff that we're having to negotiate right now. And the tame, or this could be the Uranian wild card lightning strike, flip the table energy of higher mind versus the tame quotidian mind that we express every day to just get things done in the world, which is signified by the Mercury energy. So, yeah. Or this could be, the spirit realm versus the everyday sort of Taurus, touch it, taste it, see it, smell it, eat it realm, and balancing these two. And down below her, the unseen body of water that contains this sort of spirit ocean that we need to dive into and figure out our stuff. Release fears that hold you back. This is a big deal, because in order to move forward and be this renewed, empowered being in the next 7 years, 7-year cycle of your life, you do need to release those fears that hold you back. This is a lot about having processed those Chiron and Pisces fears. And now that Chiron is going into Aries and has gone into Aries, this is going to be another flavor to add to the mix of how we self-express in the world and healing how we self-express. Maybe some of these self-expression behaviors that began with Uranus in Aries getting sort of out of control. I know I was talking about selfies and social media and things, and some of those things have maybe gotten a little out of control in your life or become unhealthy expressions of the Aries energy. And maybe you need to release fears that hold you back, that maybe keep you tied to those types of things and don't allow you to express in higher ways. Maybe some of you need to hear that, the message that way. Events behind the scenes can also point to the fact that we need to, Uranus and Taurus is also going to be about, because it's about our everyday survival and also our physical experience here on planet Earth. Events behind the scenes could have to do with our bodies and health. You may notice that I'm sort of talking about everything that's important to us here as physicalized human beings. Uranus and Taurus is a big, fat deal. It really, really is. It is the big elephant in the room of how are we going to thrive? And that involves our planet, that involves our bodies, that involves our food and our money, and how we really go about being comfortable and thriving in human bodies. Yeah, in human form. And how we manifest a beautiful experience here on planet Earth. You can see this hopefully gorgeous, natural, abundant landscape that this high priestess, angel of the moon, resides in, and how balanced it is. Yeah. Release fears that hold you back, stress, disempowering definitions. Look for possibly, when you dive into these deep waters in retrograde, both Saturn and Pluto retrograde, when you're reviewing and evaluating things, maybe you evaluate all the things that are in your surroundings, including your relationships, your health habits, your sleep habits, your habits of thought. Are you disempowering yourself, or are you allowing others to disempower you? Are you in situations that are not healthy for you that you continue to maintain because you think you have to for one reason or another? This is a big deal. We're talking about everything in this reading because it really is. Everything is going to change in a really big way. And it might not change, just so you know, astrological aspects when they form, they don't always change. The big event doesn't always happen on the exact day. Sometimes you can feel it coming for the entire few weeks up until that day, and then even afterward. Things kind of, it's like things being in dynamic motion, and it sets off, like popcorn popping. One kernel will pop, and a couple more will pop until the entire bag has been completely alchemically transformed from tiny little hard kernels that we can't eat into something that we can actually use. That was a great Taurus example. Popcorn alchemy. All right. This is beautiful. Let's see what's in the body subconscious wisdom position. 3 of water, a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. The need to have more fun. Absolutely. We're going to May. It's graduation season. Definitely. It's time for that. And this is that beautiful time where we start to see things manifesting. This is a 3, which, just like I was saying about the partnership of the 2, when you have 2 consciousnesses, 2 people, 2 disparate subjects that come together and cross-pollinate, sometimes you can have this wonderful, you can see these 3 goblets here. When 2 come together, you can have this wonderful pollinization or pollination, depending on, you can say it both ways, actually. And a new product or a new progeny, new way of looking at things, new creative thing comes out of the interaction between these 2. And so this 3 is, again, that number of divine creativity. Remember last time we got that 3 of fire at the bottom, and we also got the 10 of water. So it's almost as if the energies have sort of merged on this low level. This is beautiful. This is also pointing to the culmination of the moon energy for May. Yeah, the new moon is going to be amazing because it's happening right on that Uranus changeover. But the full moon at the end of May, May 29th, is going to be the full moon in Sagittarius. And at that time, there are a couple of beautiful trines happening in the heavens, one of which is a grand water trine between Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, and then Venus in the sign of Cancer. Venus is going into Cancer, I think around the 19th of May. So Venus is switching signs from bubbly, happy, fun Gemini. So while Venus in Gemini is in Gemini, have more fun, folks. But Venus is switching signs into Cancer, also in May. And when she goes into Cancer, it's all about nurturing and creativity and family and getting together for those love-based events. This is beautiful. Wedding energy, graduation energy, or birth announcements. Totally Venus in Cancer energy. Graduation could be Venus in Gemini as well. But celebrations of all types. Grand water trine during the full moon in Sagittarius at the end of the month means that we're going to have wonderful, supportive, heart-based energy. By the time we've made our new moon intentions, we've set those intentions, we've had a time to incubate them for the next couple of weeks after that new moon. By the time the full moon rolls around by the end of the month, you should be seeing the creativity, the inklings of some sort of something bearing fruit. Remember that 7 of Earth that we had in the last reading, where you've planted good seeds and you're going to see them bear fruit if you just be patient? This is going to be, look to the end of May to see something showing itself, or some fun thing happening. Definitely the need to have more fun, the need to stay in the heart, the need to lighten up your energy so that you can attract more of this beauty into your life. I love that we also have both the sun and the moon showing up for this reading, this balancing of divine masculine and divine feminine energy, creating a renewal, creating a new something here in the center. But yeah, definitely heart-based water energy, very supportive. Jupiter, the planet of exuberant expansion, Neptune, the planet of spiritual growth and fantasy and creativity, and Venus, the planet of love and money. So that energy just building and lending this beautiful cushion of support, heart-based energy to help us over whatever hurdles that are going to present themselves, especially on the world stage. Watch out, folks. On the world stage, this Uranus into Taurus energy could really kind of be potentially upsetting, because old structures have got to go away. Old structures in food production, old structures in money, old structures in relationships, and in how we deal with the environment. Those things have got to be removed and somehow reinvented so that we can move forward in the spirit of more abundance, more joy, more excitement about the future, because frankly, we're tired of not being excited about the future. That's what this desire to move on is about. We're tired of feeling like this, aren't we? We're tired of feeling like the world's no fun and there's not much to look forward to, and that people are angry and that they're fighting all the time. This has been Uranus in Aries energy. And now we're looking forward to, I love Kelley Rosano's term, the love revolution. Uranus, revolution planet, and Taurus, ruled by Venus, the planet of love. So let's make that happen, shall we? The body knows this is securely planted in your root and subconscious level. This is the place where you touch the planet, your Mother Earth, and spending more time celebrating, making time for more fun in your life, being more heart-based. Look at this heart-based, water intuitive vertical that we have here. Major arcana, a huge driving force, and the heart. So it's all about heart-based energy. The love revolution. I love that. Okay. I love the love revolution. Let's see what can help us on our journey. 5 of Fire. Okay, this is something that the guides want us to be aware of as a caution. There are some competing goals, some bothersome details, and some conflict with others that do need to be wrapped up. And this is speaking to that sort of caveat that I was giving about stuff on the world stage. Anytime a great change starts to happen, there's always sort of a temper tantrum that our psyches have to throw, because we don't like change. We're 3D physical beings, and we like things to be the same, even if the same means the stuff that we don't like. Remember how last time I was talking about the 5 of Water, things not turning out the way that you'd hoped and crying over spilled milk and sort of remaining in that woe is me, oh, things are not the way that I want them sort of mindset, disempowered mindset, but yet that we would sort of fight to stay there because we know it, because it's not scary and unknown. Look, the unknown horizon. It's almost like the devil, you know something is not good for you, but you stay with it anyway. And this can be a manifestation of either in our own lives or on the world stage, this reticence to change and this still bickering over the scraps when the table gets flipped and things need to change, but people, it's almost like they're scrambling for the pieces and still trying to hold on to the way things were before. This competing goals, bothersome details, and conflict with others could manifest in many ways. It could manifest in you trying to renew yourself in some way, and other people just not getting you. This is a fire card, so this has to do with instinct and creativity and spirit in its purest form. So when you're trying to reinvent yourself and experience this spiritual and emotional growth, there are chances that other people won't get this new direction that you're wanting to go in. So as you shift during the month of May, expect the haters to have something to say about it. And expect people to be arguing on the world stage about whether or not things should stay the same, or whether or not someone is going about the new change in the way that I would do it, or those people are wrong about X, Y, and Z. There's going to be fighting. And especially, I should mention, because the full moon in Sagittarius also has this kind of interesting polarity. to it. By the end of May, you're going to start seeing, not only because Uranus is changing signs, Mars is going into Aquarius the next day right after the new moon. And when Mars goes into Aquarius, right like as it's coming to the end of Capricorn and as it flips into Aquarius, it's going to square Uranus. And that's an uncomfortable aspect that can come sometimes create warlike, sudden, scary things happening in the news. Or maybe somebody could get really mad at you for seemingly out of the blue for no reason that you could see coming. Mars squaring Uranus right there at that new moon, that is indicative of lower mind or ego-based reactions to this Uranus-Taurus shift. So watch for that, like in the days around the new moon. Also, I was going to say, and I felt like I needed to backtrack, but I was going to say for the full moon by the end of May, there is an aspect of this full moon that could possibly bring out this type of energy as well. The full moon, every full moon is a moon-sun opposition. And so the full moon, the moon itself is going to be in Sagittarius. The sun is going to be in Gemini. And so you've got this opposition. And every full moon is a opportunity for us to balance these outwardly directed energies and the inwardly directed sort of intuitive energies. This is how we manifest consciously and what form we take when we go about day to day and what we show to others. This is our internal energies, what we're feeling inside and the stuff that we're mulling through before we show anything to others. So these energies obviously need to be balanced. And on the full moon, there's a really interesting alignment with a couple of fixed stars. And I don't talk about fixed stars very often. Sometimes I do when there's like just a really interesting alignment going on. Astrologers use the planets to talk about energies and the general climate that's happening here on planet Earth, and also to describe personality aspects and individuals and things like that. But also, they can use the stars in the constellations out there in the universe. And two major stars, Antares and Aldebaran, one located in Scorpio, the other located in Taurus constellation, are going to line up with this Sagittarius full moon. And when that happens, both of these stars are sort of warlike stars. They've got sort of Mars energy. They really are fighters. And that means they could manifest in a good way, like a righteous anger. We're going to be warriors for light and change things because it's the right thing to do. And it could also manifest in a very shadowy, actual war, violent, let's have more conflict because we don't like change and we don't want our power structures to crumble and we don't want to change the way we deal with money, or we don't want to change the way we look at others, or we don't want the divine feminine to have an equal seat at the table. This is all stuff that could come out at either of those, either the new moon or the full moon points in May. So watch for that stuff. Watch for people who just don't get what you're about, and be prepared to show love, stay in the heart, and release things that don't work for you anymore. Move on. Leave everything behind that does not serve you. Have the courage to do that. You can see that in this illustration here in the Five of Fire. You've got these wands, and the wands seem to be at odds with each other, having this sort of impasse. And they don't seem to be able to come to any agreement. But the secret power in this illustration is that this one wand here, and I always feel that this represents us, if this wand would just move forward on its path, just move forward with courage, not care what anybody thought, look, these other wands that seem to be blocking it would just fall over. They're actually not in its way. It can move forward. That means we can move forward on our own path of renewal, choose wherever we want to move on to, whatever spiritual and emotional growth we want to pursue. Go have more fun, stay in the heart, get more psychic, get more intuitive, allow our divine feminine rising energy to push us forward into the new abundance and the new thriving that is waiting for us. and let these people fall behind. Let these old disempowering beliefs, these situations, objects, and emotions that don't serve us, let them fall behind. And there's freedom in moving forward. This is wonderful to know. 5 is what I like to call the sort of halfway there number. It is the number of not the 1 or the 9 or even, and not the complete reinvention of a 10, but the number of sort of being stuck in the middle, the being on the fence, not knowing what to do. And you can feel that energy here. This wand doesn't know what to do. It could stay in this conflict with others and try to engage in the same stuff, same arguments every day, the same annoyances, the same situations, people, objects, and belief systems and emotions that do not serve it. Or it could choose a new path and move forward. And this is that impasse, this indecision. 5 is also a very human number. You can see we've got 5 fingers and 5 toes. On 4 of our 5 major appendages, we also do have 5 major appendages. We have head and 2 arms and 2 legs. And so this is the number of growth and the number of process. So this is valid, and the guides want us to be aware of it, but they want us to know that it should not stop us. We should not dwell here. We have the path forward. There is the secret to move forward, and there is the desire to move on. So just do that. Be faithful to what your heart and your intuition and your body wisdom is telling you. And don't get stuck. Look, here's this beautiful heart-based and major arcana energy, and then there's this weird Martian bump in the road here. This fiery, let's make conflict for, frankly, not good enough reasons anymore. The way things have been and the reasons that we've been making up to fight with each other are just not good enough anymore, and the guides want us to know that, yes, this could manifest, but we've got to move beyond this. We've got to get to the fun part. The celebrating, the creativity part. Beautiful. All right, let's see generally what direction we're moving in. Uh-oh. Yep, 7 of air, plans that need revision. More of this stuff. It looks like there's going to be, again, look at this beautiful thrust of change here and this need for spiritual shift and emotional shift. And then we get a little chaos. This is the Uranian fallout that can happen. Uranus, when it flips the table, you can imagine that all the game pieces go everywhere and the board's flying across the room over there. Or it's like the kid who dumps all the Legos on the floor and all the Legos just go everywhere. There's more going on than meets the eye. There could be instances of poor timing going on. This is just going to be the fallout over the next few months to a year of this Uranus changeover, because so much that is changing is on such fundamental Taurus levels. What's really fun about this is that this is just everyone just running in circles with their hair on fire, panicking. It's also everyone in the peanut gallery having an opinion, like everyone just throwing in their 2 cents without really having taken the thought to go in and review and evaluate in that very masterful Saturn-based way, or even that very deep alchemical Pluto way that we really need to go inside and look. People who have not examined their lives, suddenly thrown into panic and chaos and a tweet storm online, and everyone having to weigh in on something that they just have not done enough thinking about. They haven't, you can feel the chaotic, let's run around in circles and just wind ourselves up energy. Yeah, there's more going on than meets the eye. This means that we need to go deep inside and do some really, really thoughtful, I say thoughtful thinking, some really sincere soul searching, so that we cannot get stuck in this crazy carousel of chaos that could ensue after this. 7, like I was going to say, is sort of the inside joke of this, because 7 is the teaching number. 7 is the genius number. 7 is frankly the number that I associate the most sometimes with Uranian energy, because it's genius, stupid, divine, luck, non-physical causality. It's chains of logic that don't seem to be explainable here in 3D physical reality, because the chains of causality are going on in dimensions in higher realms that we can't see. And so you all know this person who seems to have the luck of the gods, who seems to have everything just turn out for them. They don't really have to work that hard to make their lives function, to thrive. And they always just seem to kind of come out smelling like a rose. That's because they've tapped into a non-physical causality chain, and they understand how to manifest results for themselves without having to go through the paint by numbers steps of doing the 3D reality work. And we've got this secret 7 here in the midst of this chaos. So this is the shadow side of Uranus. This could be, again, people who have not done this work really flipping out as a result of this change. And when you think about it, if the big changes are coming to money and food and health and relationships, divine feminine stuff, think about how threatening that is to people who don't get this, who don't watch these things, who don't watch readings online, and who don't understand law of attraction, and who don't understand that there's an energetic basis and an emotional basis to what's going on out there in the world. And just consider yourself lucky. Just consider yourself lucky that you know what's going on underneath this stuff and that you can prepare for this. I'm trying to feel out if we need any clarification on any of these. I just really feel like, again, this is going to be the fallout of Uranian shift. But I can tell from this vertical that those of you who are watching this, those of you who have been drawn to this reading at this time, you will be prepared for this. You got this. Just, frankly, be compassionate to those who don't get it. To the people around you who are going to be kind of running around like chickens, because they don't understand that underneath it all, things are trying to work out. Things are trying to come to this divine creativity, resolution, happy place. Things are trying to come to an empowered self-expression place, or a divine intuition becoming manifest in physical. This is beautiful energy, and we just need to understand that those who don't get it are not going to get it, especially in the next month. There's not going to be enough time for them to get it within the next month. This means, though, that for those of us who are watching this, who understand that this is coming, you're going to need to plant yourself securely in the heart and root yourself to the planet. Do Uranus in Taurus things. Revolutionize your healthcare regimen. Practice self-care. Love yourself more than ever. Eat healthily. Move your body. Connect to the planet. Have more fun. Carve out time in your schedule to go into nature, to go out and do the things that that give you joy. Keep your head down. Don't read too much of the storm on social media. Don't get stuck in this. The guides are letting you know and giving you just a heads up that this is going to happen, especially in the month of May. We'll see what happens in the months after that, in my next reading and so forth. But yeah, May is going to probably end up stirring some of this up for people. Whether it's Uranus changeover on new moon, or whether it is the full moon, Antares, Aldebaran, crazy Martian star opposition stuff that happens. We've got a lot of support, though. Grand water trine. We've also got a grand fire trine for the full moon in Sagittarius. Moon, Chiron, and North Node in Leo. So We've got spirit supporting us to get us through this kind of chaotic energy, and we've got the heart energy of emotions and higher mind coming to support us through this. So don't feel, they're not giving me the instinct that this needs clarification. They're just giving us a heads up about how everyone else is going to react. Let's see here. I want to do some shortcuts. I'm feeling like energy and sort of earth stuff. So I got out the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. This is very Uranian, not very physical feeling deck. This feels like that transpersonal, higher mind, Uranian energy. Those of you who are new and have not seen my shortcut process before, it is a quick and dirty 3-card spread that I do for myself. I invented this process, and the first part of the process is just to flip the deck. All right, everyone, Angel of Strength. This really corresponds to that strength card here in the Angel Tarot deck, where it shows the Archangel Ariel with the Lion of Strength. This is that North Node in Leo that I just mentioned in passing in the full moon in Sagittarius. North Node is a concept in astrology that not a lot of people who just kind of are in astrology on the surface, they don't talk about it that much. But in the moon's orbit, those of you who don't know, the moon's orbit is not necessarily circular. It is an slight elliptical orbit. That means the moon is sometimes a little bit closer to the Earth and a little bit farther away, depending on what part of the orbit it's in. In that orbit, where that ellipse crosses the line of the ecliptic, which is the line that has all of our zodiac signs that surround the Earth, where those two lines cross is what's called a lunar node. And there's a north node and there's a south node. And the north node usually corresponds to sort of the theme or the energy where the collective is going at the moment. And the south node talks about where we have been and maybe karma that we have from the past that we need to transform. And just like I said, for this full moon in Sagittarius, there's a grand fire trine happening. A grand fire trine means that 3 planets are hanging out in the fire signs, making this beautiful equilateral triangle in 3 fire signs. And one of those points in the grand fire trine for full moon in Sagittarius is the north node in the sign of Leo. Leo the lion. Leo the sign of kingship. Leo ruled by the sun. The planet of your divine sovereign nature, your royal nature. Leo is definitely the sign that embodies this idea of self-love more than any other sign. And it can manifest in both good and bad ways. The shadow side of Leo is egotism and lack of concern for others. But the bright, beautiful, positive, empowered spiritual side of Leo is someone who loves themselves and will manifest themselves without shame in the world. And this is beautiful energy to have for this kind of potentially scary period for those of us who are not feeling so firmly rooted in our heart center or in our root level. So this is great energy for us to focus on. Just know that the North Node is in fact in Leo, meaning this is our destiny. Our destiny right now that we're pursuing as a collective is to be more loving of self, is to be brave, is to have courage, is to be that sovereign being of light, to know that we are worthy and loved, and that the universe sees us as special, or else we would not be here in 3D reality. Think about that for a second. Just chew on that, those of you who need this message. You are a divine sovereign being, and you would not be here in 3D physical reality if Source, God, Goddess, whatever higher power you want to subscribe to, if they didn't think you were needed. If eternity did not need you right now, you would not be here. And so there is something beautiful and special and irreplaceable about you. And this is the angel of strength energy coming forward to show you that North Node is in Leo right now. So it's all about learning to manifest your beautiful, bright solar self without shame and also balanced, so that you can renew yourself, choose who you want to be, move in a higher direction, and do it out of love without fear or shame. Beautiful. Okay, second part of my shortcut process is that I just cut. Aha, look at this. Financial constraints. 13. 13 reduces to a 4 because you add the 1 and the 3 and you get a 4. And, I didn't say 5. 5 is another number of process. Look, you've got a healthy number of process and a sort of disempowering, but still cool and secret because the wand can move forward, remember, number of process, showing that our process here in 3D reality as humans is a valid and a divinely appointed one. Beautiful. Okay, so this 4 that we've got and this financial constraints, you can see this cupboard is bare. It's got very little in it. It's got some cobwebs. 4 is a number of foundation, and it's definitely about Taurus, Uranus and Taurus energy. This is just letting us know some of us for whom this is necessary in our soul's journey right now will be facing this with this Uranus in Taurus changeover. And this is going to create some of that panic and some of that impasse and fighting. It's very, very difficult to keep an even hand or or a level head when you've got financial issues. And this is a worldwide problem. This is a worldwide thing that we all need to come together and solve. This is that 3 of creativity that is really deeply needed right now. So yes, 4, the number of foundation. When you have, say, a table with 4 legs or a chair with 4 legs, you feel like you can put your weight on it and really support yourself, and you feel safe and you feel like it's not going to fall over and you're not going to get hurt if you put your weight on it. You can trust it. 4 is also the number of Earth and the planet. So this is definitely Uranus and Taurus energy. So this is having to do with the fact that we have not created a sustainable way on our planet to relate to our planet's physical resources and also to support ourselves in ways that some of us are not having to go without. We really need to figure out how to redistribute and how to create more wealth on the planet without just taking without restraint from the planet. We need to find a way to balance things, to build a foundation that will work for us, that will support us into the future. This is a big deal and it's real. So guides are just acknowledging, yes, there will be this for some of us. And that this angel of strength is here to let us know that it's our destiny to transform this. No great story that you go to watch in a movie theater or that you read in a book occurs without challenge. Challenge is needed for our soul's growth, and we came here knowing that as divine beings. Even though we don't know it now because conscious mind forgot, higher mind still knows this, and higher mind knows that we can get through this somehow. Some amazing inspiration, lightning strike, Uranian thing will come out of this, and the angel of strength is with us to see us through. So this could have to do with some of us needing to get different financial habits and to build a stronger foundation. So start looking at your financial situation and see if it's sustainable for you. If you haven't started looking at that already, do it now. Oh, look at this. The sun is back. And in this deck, it is in its reduced numerological value. 1 + 9 is 10, reduces to a 1, which is all about you. Again, self-expression. Look at this. This is their wonderful answer. Check this out. So you see this beautiful divine feminine rising out of the pools of the intuition, the great lotus pool of spirit. You've got a book that maybe somebody has written. You've got paintbrushes over here, great art that someone has created. You've got music, musical instruments. You've got animals, different relationship to animals. You've got a baby here hanging that the stork has come and left in its little swaddle. And you've got beautiful, like, inspiration coming on the wind, on the wings of birds or spirit beings. And you've got the bright, beautiful sun here. And butterflies of spirit. There's so much cool, like, imagery in this deck. This is showing us that the spirit of divine creativity manifested outward from us, shining like the sun, through all of our beautiful talents, will be the energy that transforms these financial constraints. So you can see this. Here's our key, our secret. We must be ourselves now more than ever. We must find our own balance and our own way to shine in the world. Maybe the way that you have gone about making money in the past is not serving you now, and you've got to come up with some beautiful way of self-expression. Write that book, paint that painting, make that piece of music. You know, maybe you are here to create. Like, you've got this baby here, and the baby can symbolize not only just progeny, actual babies, but it can symbolize whatever it is, new thing, whatever new paradigm or new belief system or new invention that you have percolating inside you. All of these are symbols of creativity. And so tap into that divine feminine part of you, go inside, figure out what gifts you have to give to the world. Now more than ever, start your own thing. Have your own way of bringing in income. There are now so many new ways. Uranus and Taurus. Now we've got crowdfunding. We've got all sorts of new ways. We've got Patreon. We've got, like, neat things that people can do to bring their own gifts to the world and get monetary support. So start that thing that you've been thinking about doing. Even if you don't have time to quit your job or you can't quit your job right now, do it on the side. Do a little bit every day. Start that, because the guides want you to know this expression of self is going to transform these financial constraints. And meanwhile, you have the angel of strength. You can call on any of these major arcana angels whenever you feel inspired. Anyone that has shown up, Raziel, from the beginning, Uriel, Jeremiel, Haniel, and Ariel here as the angel of strength, to bring you forward, to give you divine inspiration, to help you through these hurdles that are coming. Beautiful. But it's all about you. It's all about number one and expressing that now more than ever. Gorgeous. What a great shortcut. Any of my fellow tarot readers who are out there who want to use this quick cross spread or my shortcut process, you are more than welcome to, as long as you attribute these spreads to me. I did invent them, so if you just say my name, Izobel Freeman, and you link to my website, shinyallthetime.com, in your description of your video or in your project somewhere, you have permission to use these. I've made these spreads available through Creative Commons license. So if you just go to shinyallthetime.com/cc, I have all the information there that you can cut and paste into your project or into your video description, and you are more than welcome to use these spreads. I'm going to do one more shortcut. And I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot by John Holland. This is just because this is the most rooted, stable sort of Taurus energy, earth energy deck that I can think of right now. It is called the Psychic Tarot, but it is not a full tarot deck. It's more like an oracle deck based on the tarot. And you can see here on the back, it's got this four-posted sort of sacred geometry symbol here, and it feels very stable. Because again, it's got those 4 points, 4 legs on a table, four legs on a chair, very earth-like and stable. So really wanted that stable energy. Let's do another shortcut. Speaking of 4, here is the heart chakra, where we all must remain in order to weather this stuff. For the month of May, stay in the heart, stay in contact with Mother Earth, your support system. Review and evaluate your financial situation from a heart-based, hopeful, self-expressive, creative way. Don't fall into this. Stay in the heart. The guides want you to know. Heart chakra, here portrayed green, the color of the earth, and also the color, at least here in the US, of money. So all things related to Taurus energy, health, earth-based environment stuff, body stuff, money stuff, all comes through having an open and connected heart chakra. Do your absolute best to practice self-care and stay out of this. Stay out of panic, stay out of depression. Go in nature and touch the planet. She can help you. If you're feeling down, go to a beautiful place and just walk around and breathe the air and talk to the planet. Give your problems to your mother. Talk to her through the heart. Ooh, beautiful. Cutting. Okay. Memories of love. This feels kind of like that 6 of Water card that we get here in this deck. This is going into your deep self, releasing those fears that hold you back and figuring out what your intuition is telling you about your feelings. Sometimes this also could be that Chiron energy. Chiron, again, is forming a point in that grand fire trine with the North Node in Leo and with the moon for full moon in Sagittarius at the end of May. So this could activate Chiron stuff. And Chiron, for those of you who don't know, is a minor planet in astrology. He's sort of he's a weird ice ball. They couldn't tell what he was for a while. They thought he was a comet. They thought he was an asteroid for a while, but they figured out that he's sort of the heart of a comet and a planetoid. So they've now classified him as either a minor planet or a planetoid. His orbit is an ellipse that orbits the sun between the orbits of Saturn and Uranus. So they always talk about Chiron in astrology as being the bridge between Saturn, the realm of the seen. Saturn's the last planet we can see with an unaided eye. And so Saturn being the limit of 3D time-space reality, and Uranus being the first transpersonal planet, the first planet that we need help, that we need instruments to see. And so Uranus flies out beyond the boundaries, and that's why Uranus is the revolutionary planet, the planet that comes in from seemingly nowhere and changes the whole game. So, but Chiron flies between the two of them, and so can bridge us and can help us connect to higher mind and connect our 3D conscious experience to our spirit experience and explain sometimes the deepest wounds that we've carried with us from childhood or possibly from other lives. And so going back, transforming that stuff. I've talked a lot about Chiron coming out of Pisces and now going into Aries. Chiron in Pisces was really about deep trauma and victimhood and the stuff that is so deeply buried in our psyches that we don't want to readdress it. And this card can have a dual meaning. So it is the 6, which is the number in numerology of love, and it's that very nurturing motherly love, that selfless love that cares for its progeny no matter what. So either this is Chiron pain that we need to transform, or you can see, again, this is very green, heart-based, emotional feeling energy, the positive memories of love that we need to bring up to combat this chaos and this possible scary energy that is going to come up as a result of this big Uranian shift. So again, they're really hammering on being heart-based, connecting to the planet, your first mother, the Earth Mother, to connect to her love, to know how much you are supported, no matter if you're facing the financial constraint that the energy deck revealed, or if you're surrounded by people who are going nuts because they can't handle change, or if you're feeling a little knocked off your pins because you don't really want things to change, but you really do. Higher mind does. That's a secret. Go and find the most loving feeling that you can. Go in and find those moments that you felt secure and taken care of and protected. Try to go out in nature, get in your heart chakra, and talk to the mother. And she will let you know that she's been here for billions of years and seen countless lives come and go, and that it will be okay. That we're eternal beings and it will be okay. Comfort can come to you through this heart chakra place. So, either go inside and transform the painful stuff, review and evaluate, go into your hermit state, like the hermit card, and filter those through and figure out how to transform those into self-empowered experiences and to add them as fuel to your fire so that you can possibly expressing pain creatively can really help, just like that sun card is talking about here. And the angel of strength is with you. So this is the work. Where are you cutting? Which one? Some cards are sticky together. Okay, everyone. Triumphant success. Look at this, another one card, just like the sun card from the energy. Look, you've got this hand. It's almost like this warrior has been literally buried alive and is emerging from the earth, still alive, still fighting. Triumphant success. This is beautiful. Again, a number one of reinvention. So, just letting us know we're going to be okay. No matter what happens, no matter what crazy stuff happens when Uranus flips the table, no matter what financial constraints are going on in the meantime while we're going through transformation, we're going to be okay. We're sovereign beings. Look, we've got the sun twice showing up. The sun, the most triumphant card in the deck, that feels like this, showing up in two different decks to let us know we got this. The universe has our back, no matter what happens out there externally, no matter if things seem scary. Triumphant success is ours. We need to go inside and find our love place, transform the hurt from the past, or magnify the beautiful things that are working. Well, that's a good message. Try to find the things in your life that are working and make those the center of your consciousness. When you go in to meditate, when you sit with the planet, when you go for your walks in nature, when you do your self-care, and you go within, whatever modality you use, when you pray, magnify the gratitude for the things that you love. Stay in the heart chakra. This is your destiny, just like North Node in Leo with the angel of strength. We're going to come out on top. Those of us who have the fortitude to stay in the heart. Those of us who don't, all bets are off. Beautiful. Good shortcuts. All right. I'm going to do our Angel Answers card. Abundance, everyone. There's nothing more Uranus and Taurus than that. Look at this. We had financial constraints, but our destiny is here. And abundance not only in monetary terms, abundance when it comes to the planet, our renewed environment with its beautiful ability to produce lush and thriving things and places for us to experience. Look at this sun card. Look how abundant this feels. Beautiful, abundant golden light. And sunflowers. Beautiful. Abundance in all forms, meaning health, thriving, love, anything that you can think of that would make you feel happy. Hopefully you can see how happy this angel is in this illustration. I know sometimes these Angel Answers cards, their illustrations are so bright that they get a little blown out in this light, but hopefully you can see her giant smile and this platter of gold that she's pouring out, and this caduceus like sort of helix energy coming out from her crown chakra, and these rainbow streams of light showing all of her chakras aligned, and that her health is vibrant, and that her connection to higher mind, to source, to heart-based energy is solid and secure. And you can see this energy of gold, solar plexus, pink heart-based, and amethyst or violet, indigo type third eye and crown chakra energy. Beautiful. So they're just letting us know, stay in this beautiful heart-based place. Stay in this secure place. Know that this is your destiny, whatever this means to you. And know that it's going to come to you through your unfiltered expression of your divine brilliance. Both of these decks let us know that the sun, the expression of creativity, renewing yourself into your most radiant form that you've ever manifested here on the planet, is the key to weathering these financial constraints, to getting through whatever firestorm the haters or everyone else out there on the world stage has in store, and for avoiding the crazy. This air card letting us know that this is the craziness of the mind. This is the lower mind. Remember that lower mind that didn't have a clue last reading? Air cards are all about mind energy, so people are going to be having really disempowered, chaotic, panicky thoughts, and they're going to overreact to this shift. So but just know this is your destiny. Angel of Strength is with you. Triumphant victory coming from the Psychic Tarot deck. Beautiful. All right, everyone. Really awesome reading. I really hope that regardless of what these guys look like, I hope you can feel the massive amounts of support that we are getting from the guides and from our beloved Mother Earth, and just from our own sovereign source, from our own spiritual strength. We really have this. Let everyone go nuts. It's got to happen because great big changes are happening. And whenever great big changes happen, people go a little nuts. So allow that to happen. Make sure you fix your own foundations and stay in the heart. Pay attention to those financial constraints if that's something that you need to tackle. And everyone does on some level. You're not alone. Everyone is dealing with the whole money and the disparity of having enough and yet being able to manifest what I want to do in my life versus what I have to do to get enough money coming through the door. Everyone's dealing with that right now. So again, you're not alone. Let's figure out some beautiful, fun way that we can celebrate this amazing, giant changeover of energy that we're going through this month. I have my fun and bubbly victory reward dice here. I'm going to close my eyes and choose a die and see what we can do to celebrate. Right, everyone? This is a very Taurus way of celebrating. And this can help you really connect to self-care, get in the heart center, be good to your body, make sure that you thrive, be gentle with yourself, visit the day spa. Find your favorite review site online, find a day spa that just has out of this world reviews that people just love, that can put you in another state, that can allow you to connect to your deeper self and figure out what you're going to be next and to truly renew you. You need this renewal. You need reinvention. And frankly, you need a place where you can shut off the phone. Because honestly, unless you're taking the phone into the spa with you, which I do not recommend, you can disconnect from this, from the crazy, from the flame wars, from the storm of uninformed opinions and panic reactions that people's lower minds are going to be having to this big shift. Visit the day spa and tune all of that out whenever you can. Celebrate you, celebrate the planet. Celebrate your heart center and your divine feminine. That divine feminine, beautiful intuition that is now coming to the fore with Uranus in Taurus. Beautiful. Oh, and sometimes we get a bonus one because this face is upright. And then have dinner out. This is like so Taurus. Look at this. Visit the day spa, make yourself feel beautiful and pretty and loved, and then have wonderful, comfy, happy-making, healthy, thriving dinner out with people that you love, or maybe alone if you want that inner you space. Great. Thank you so very much for joining me for this very profound and historic reading. This is my first monthly reading. My next one will be on the 1st of June. So I hope you'll join me then. Until then, please do give my video a like, subscribe to my channel, share this video for those whom you care about, who need to hear this because they're going to be dealing with this too, especially this month. Definitely spread the word about the love revolution that we all need to have. We really need to be centered in that heart chakra and change our priorities because the way that we've been doing things has not been working. And so it's time for renewal. Great. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Get out there, visit the day spa, show yourself some self-love, have a beautiful, comfy, happy dinner out. Have more fun. Stay shiny, and I will see you for the next reading.